and welcome to the IPF World Championships live in Istanbul, Turkey. I am Ryan Six-Pack Lapidat, and I'm accompanied in the booth with Rory Lynch. Rory, you've been in several of these World Championships as a coach. I know you're obviously co-hosting the podcast. You've also done reffing at the international worlds level. Thank you for accompanying me for the 120 and 120 plus sub-junior and junior lifters as we take a peek at the running order in the world's best, well-represented. These are the big boys shifting some big weights. Earlier today, some of the action we seen, we had favorites bomb out, weights flying, some people getting golds, and coming from behind to snag medals in the most unexpected of ways. We anticipate more of the same here for this session. Starting off, Dmitry Ivanchenko, representing Kazakhstan with 160 kilos. We're in the sub-junior 120 plus. That was fast.
And referee says, good
and he's on the board.
Next lifter, John Sarnet from Turkey, 230 kilos. Followed by Chandler from the United States. Bar is ready. John
Sarnet from Turkey. .230 kilos for his opening squat attempt. And again, as we've seen several times in the equipped, Turkey having lifters opting to lift raw, adjusting the weight here.
So it's not entirely unusual in equipped competitions to see people either open in loose equipment or potentially open with no equipment at all. It is equipment optional. But we have seen a few Turkish lifters lift raw the entire session.
Yeah, it's the actual name of it is open as opposed to equipped. We refer to it as equipped, but it's open because you're open to lift however you like. It's not mandatory by any stretch. And nice opening squat there. 230 moved rather easily.
Good play. Our next lifter, Mosher Chandler from the United States, 247.5.
No question on the depth. You know, they say sometimes the big boys can't get down in depth. Well, point them to that. Chandler from the U.S., 247.5. Sub-junior 120. Chandler Loescher checking in just a stitch over 110 kilos.
Good setup. Get your feet right.
And that's a sub-junior, a rather big teenager.
Down, 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 down. Hold that.
Ooh, and you know there was little instability as he hit the searching for depth almost, but it passes. Got to be careful there's no up-down movement when you're searching for that depth. As we take a peek at the replay, yeah, little verberation, we'll call it. We won't call it up-down. We'll call it a little verberation. How's that?
A little bit of reverb. He did get 2 white lights though, so that is a good lift, and he is on the board.
Julius. Oh, okay, so it's getting overturned, and the jury has decided that wasn't verberation, that was actual up-down. Julius Richwalski, 260 kilos. We are in the 120 kilo juniors.
So Rychwalski weighed in at 105.6 kilograms, only just over the 105 kilo class.
Giving up some size to his competitors. Wow, nice depth there.
And lift is good. Ladies and gentlemen, by the jury decision, Chandler Lucius
We will be
overruled.
in the same
By the
flight,
jury decision.
bouncing around
Chandler Lucius
between
overruled.
120, 120 plus sub-juniors and juniors.
Our next lifter, Dmitro Volchak from
Dmitro
Ukraine.
Vovchuk of Ukraine coming out to 265. We are now in the 120 plus juniors. 19 years old, competing 6 years.
Another rather light lifter, Vovchuk weighed in at 123.65 kilograms, again just over the 120 kilo class.
Yeah, look at that medallion.
Is that from the Witcher video game?
I would not know, sir. You lost cool points right there. Be easy. That's a smooth squat.
Very fast.
Very fast, very comfortable. Easy 3 white lights, and he's on the board.
He's
Our
happy.
next lifter, Caleb Pennington from the United States, 280 kilos.
Yeah, nice depth.
Dominic Blascones. The bar is ready.
120 junior Caleb Pennington representing the U.S. 19 years young, 280 kilos for his opening squat.
Settle. Good feet. Tight. Give it up there. Speed. Hold it.
Looked pretty easy for Caleb.
Good thing.
So Caleb is the youngest lifter in the junior class, born in 2003, making this his first year as a junior.
Dominic Blascones from Slovakia.
Caleb also checking in at 111 kilos. Also a relatively small 120. Dominic Plaskonis of Slovakia, 280 kilos, stays on the bar for his opening squat. Moved well. See if the judges like his depth. Sometimes it's a little borderline. You never know which way he'll swing.
Lifters go.
2-1 swung in
2-1.
his favor.
Our next lifter, Denis Kureshka from Czech Republic. 280 kilos.
Representing Czech Republic, Denis Korečka. 280 kilos stays on the bar for him, but we're going to move to the 120 plus juniors. Checking in at 153 kilos.
So Dorechka was born in 1991, so this is his final year as a junior lifter. He'll be moving into the Open in January.
99, I think you meant to say, sir.
Sorry, 99.
Good thing.
3 white lights, and he's on the board.
Our next lifter is from Republic of South Africa,
Nicely done.
Justin Furman.
Good attempt selection, and it's a rather big flight, which means, I mean, these are the big boys shifting some big weights. They have time to recuperate in between attempts. And Justin Furman of South
290
Africa,
kilos.
290 kilos as we enter the 120 kilo junior class. He's telling them he wants the rack out. I don't know if that was, oh, just one side out.
One side out, okay.
I'm not sure if the miscommunication was on his side when they put initially. Or. And Rory, why do you think you would have only one rack out?
Often with these big boys, when they take a big step backwards, the swing can mean that one of the plates, or both of the plates even, catch against the uprights. And so by having one side in, it can make it easier to get out of the rack without clipping the side. And if you can imagine walking out with 290 kilos, you don't want to be fighting that.
Absolutely. And that lift is good. Look at the up-down bar path.
315 kilos, ladies and gentlemen.
Vasily representing Kazakhstan, taking 315 kilos in the junior 120 kilo class.
Bar is loaded for Vasily.
Vasily Shishrbina checking in at 190 or 109 kilos in the 120 kilo class, amongst one of the smaller 120s. And it was smooth. We'll see how the judges call the depth. Yeah. If I'm honest, I'm not entirely surprised.
It
Look at this replay.
It did look like he was searching for depth a little bit there.
Followed by Sharma Gora. 330 kilos.
Dmitro Holinai from Ukraine, 230 kilos. We're staying in the 120 juniors.
Bar is loaded for Dmitro.
So far, 2 lifters failing to get their opening squat, rising the tension for them and their national teams, but there's 2 more attempts. All is not lost. Moved well.
Good way, 3 wides.
Remarkably fast
Our
opener.
next lifter from India. Bar is the same, 330
Yeah,
kilos.
hits depth with no major issues.
Bar is loaded for Sharma Gora.
Sharma from India, 330 kilos in the 120 junior class. India well represented at these world championships in the equipped.
Goodley, 2-1.
2-1, he's on the
Next
board.
lifter, Luke Mellon from United States. Bar is the same.
Yeah, you can see how it's borderline.
This was the side that did get the red light, so it's possible he is a little bit lopsided.
Luke Mellon of US, 330 kilos stays on the bar for him, but we're going to move to the junior 120 pluses. Luke checking in at 182 kilos. That is over 400 pounds.
It's taken him a little bit to get stable there, but he did get the squat command.
Oh, he hits depth for a big man in a squat suit.
And referees say, Goodley, 3
No
wide.
major issues. A big man in a squat suit with knees wrapped and hits depth.
Our next lifter is from United States. Zen
Nicely
McCollum,
done.
375 kilos.
And Zen McCollum from US,
Bar is loaded.
375. Had the opportunity to speak with this gentleman a few times over the last few days. Could not be nicer.
Let it settle. Settle it. What? Tight. Give me that down. Speed.
referee say good.
2-1, he's on the board. Now, when we see the replay, as Rory pointed out, this is the side that did not pass. So it might look a little high. You know what? That wasn't too bad.
I thought that looked okay, actually.
Yeah.
On the replay.
Passed anyways.
The weight is 400.
And Ray Bowring of Great Britain finishing the 120 plus juniors and the entire openers off with 415 kilos.
Ray Bowring.
Is this equaling the current world record?
I was just looking at that.
I think this is equaling the current world record, not surpassing. Nope, never mind. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong line here. That's the 120, not the 120 plus. 120 plus being 475. But put a pin in that because he's relatively close, and we might see an attempt at it later.
Looked like he was really fighting to find depth there.
Yeah.
And referee say no.
Right, good call. This is the advantage of having an international ref in the booth.
We're starting with Dmitry Ivashenko.
Yeah, that was definitely high. Take a look at the squat standings. Had a couple of lifters fail to hit their opener, and that'll set him back. Ray Bowring, obviously a big favorite for the overall gold, now has to retake his opener and opens the door for Team USA's McCollum, who's neck and neck in the projected 950, 947.5. Now, obviously, a lock and shake up until we get to the end, but it is a storyline as we move to the 120 plus sub-juniors. And Dmitry Ivanchenko of Kazakhstan takes 180 relatively easy.
Good lift. Our next lifter, John Sermon.
Yeah, look at that depth was nice.
255
Now, it does look like he's squatting in knee wraps, but not a suit.
I was just about to say, nice eye. We caught at the same time. And
bar is loaded for Sermon.
Can Suramet of Turkey, 255, loaded on the bar for a second attempt. No issues hitting depth.
Good lift. 2-1. New personal best.
So just looking at the little colors underneath the red light, there is one red and one yellow. So that says that the referee on the right-hand side saw both probably not depth, but also some sort of technical fault, which may have been missing the rack command.
Bar is loaded for Losher.
Chandler Losher of US, 272.5. For his second attempt. Now Losher, we're in the sub-juniors. Losher missed his opener and opted to move up regardless. It's a bit of a dicey proposition because you missed your first lift on a technicality. If you miss your second on strength, you backed yourself into a corner. That's where that opener buys you that insurance.
And a reasonably aggressive jump at that. That's 25 kilograms up from his opener.
Yeah. High risk, high reward, I guess. He's lifting unopposed. But shows reason why Team USA was so confident in their move. Perhaps it's a weight they've seen him hit several times.
So I've just been told that the technical fault on the previous lifter was a grip issue.
Gotcha. Julius. Richwalski of Poland. 275 loaded on the bar for him. We're in the 120 juniors. Julius moving up 15 kilo from his opening squat.
Frisey. Good play.
Dips into the
3
hole,
white.
collects himself 3 white lights.
Our next lifter, Dmytro Vovchak from Ukraine. 285 kilos.
Almost a little bit of a pause right before the hole
Bar is loaded
dips into
for
it to hit
Dmytro.
depth. And Dmytro Vovchak of Ukraine, 285 kilo weights, and we're moving back into the 120 plus juniors.
Good play. Our next lifter from United States, Caleb Pennington. 292.5 kilos.
Caleb
Bar is
Pennington
loaded
of
for
US, 292.5 kilos loaded on the bar for his second attempt. We're in the 120 juniors still.
Settle. Get those feet right. Tight back. Give me that depth. Speed. All that.
And good play. 3 bars.
Caleb gaining momentum in the squat event.
Our next lifter, Denis Korechka from Czech Republic. 300 kilos.
Denis Korechka,
By Justin
Czechia,
Berman.
300 kilos even for his second attempt.
Bar is loaded for
So
Korechka.
this looks like a PB attempt for him. His previous best was 290 kilograms.
120 plus kilo junior. Looking for a personal best at the IPF World Championships. Knees wrapped, wearing a singlet.
Good play. 2 to 1.
2-1 he's in. Could not wait to get out of those knee wraps.
Next lifter, Justin Furman from Republic of South Africa.
Didn't look too bad from the side. What do you think, Rory?
I thought it was a little bit borderline, but this was the side that did get the red light, so understandable.
Justin Furman from South Africa.
Bar is loaded for Furman.
312.5 kilos. We're in the 120 juniors.
Just asking the bar to get moved a little bit.
And it's coach guiding him into depth, and it works.
Next lifter, Dominic Placones from Slovakia.
See this slow, controlled descent.
And Dmytro.
Bang, hits depth, comes back up with it.
On the bar we have 317.5 kilos.
Dominic Plaskonis of Slovakia, 317.5 kilos.
An aggressive jump from Dominic. 37 kilograms up from his first attempt. Was fast though.
Good lead.
Yeah, it pays off. 3 white lights.
Vasily
700 pounds now.
from Kazakhstan.
325 kilos loaded for Vasily Shushabina of Kazakhstan.
An increase from his opener.
So Chishishabina missed his opening attempt at 315 kilograms, and he's gone up 10, which is not entirely unusual in equipped. Sometimes a little bit of extra weight can help you find depth better, or can help the suit sort of sit a little bit better. If it's too light, it can be very hard to find the right depth.
And I believe, if I remember correctly, it appeared as though, and you made the comment, he was searching for depth. Oh, maybe 10 more kilo will help him find it. Looked a lot better.
And the free say, good lead.
Much better.
3 wide.
Bar just wasn't heavy enough. Take a look at this replay.
Next lifter from Ukraine,
There it is.
Dmitro Holinay.
And Dmitro Holinay from Ukraine, 345 kilos for his second attempt. Wow,
Very fast into the hole.
that was very fast. 15 kilo jump.
Good lead.
Dmitro handles it well.
Our next lifter is from India, Sharma Gaurav.
Sharma Gaurav of India, 345 for his second
345
attempt.
kilos.
Another 15 kilo jump. It was controlled. It was depth.
3 wides. Our next lifter is from United States, Luke Mellon. 357.5 kilos.
And we're going to move to the 120 plus juniors. Luke Mellon from US will attempt 357.5 kilo.
Luke.
Sizable 27.5 kilo jump, but these are the 120 pluses. And sometimes you take a rather lower weight opener just to get yourself on the board. Seems like a big jump, but he's probably now into more of the working weights he's used to.
Particularly in the equipped, where you can make modifications to your suit or even change wraps between attempts. These bigger jumps are more common, as we're seeing here today.
Beautiful depth.
And referees say,
Very comfortable squat.
3 wide. Ladies and gentlemen, our next lifter is from USA, Zen Nekran, 385 kilos.
And Zen McCullum of US, 385 kilos loaded for his second attempt.
Is loaded for McCollum.
Due to Bowring of Great Britain having to retake his opening squat, they are just 2.5 kilo apart in the projected. This is going to be a battle right to the end. Zen could really use this extra 10 kilo.
Speed.
Referees say no man. Sorry. 2-2.
Just a stitch high. Let's take a look at this replay. Yeah, I looked a little high on that side. Now Ray Bowring has an opportunity
Coming up for
to recover some ground here.
15 kilos. From Great Britain, Ray Bowring preparing for 400.
Missed 415 in his opener,
kilos.
retaking it on his second.
Bar is loaded for Ray. Come on, everybody. Big hands to him. Big hands. 415 kilos.
Better depth. Definitely better depth.
Stood up and good play.
Good enough.
Good play.
So with that, everybody has at least one squat on the board.
For third attempts.
All nations are in play now.
Now we have Dimitri
And that will conclude the second round of squats as we take a look at the standings. One more round of squats to go.
Is loaded for Dimitri Ivashenko.
All eyes on Ray Bowring. Does Team Great Britain, now they're going to go up 10 kilo. And Team USA retaking that weight for McCollum from US. And Bowring and McCollum still very close in the projected. At first, Dmitry Ivanchenko of Kazakhstan, 200 kilo in the sub-junior 120 pluses.
And referees say good play.
3 white lights,
3 wide.
3 squats. That's a good start to the day for Dimitri, I think.
Our next lifter is preparing for 270 kilos. This is way more than his personal best.
And
John
Turkey's
Sermet is coming up
Can
for
Sermet of
huge
Turkey,
PR.
270 kilos.
Bar is loaded for Sermet.
Sermet looking to go 3 for 3. We're in the 120 pluses in the juniors.
Good play. 3 wides. Our next lifter, Chandler Losher from United States, 280 kilos.
Moving to the sub-junior 120s were Chandler
Bar
Losher,
is loaded
who
for
missed his
Chandler.
opener, did a
United States.
substantial jump to his second, hit it, is now going to take a much smaller jump, 7.5 kilo to 280 kilos.
Let's go, Chandler.
Looks strong with 272.5.
Settle. Feet right. Let it settle. Tight back. Push knees.
from Poland, Julius Richwolski. Bar is loaded for
Moving
Julius.
back to the 120 juniors in Julius
285
Richwolski,
new PR for
285 kilos. Looking to go 3 for 3. Relatively high bar setup here, Rory.
And very upright when he squats as well.
nice catch by the assistant team. Not today. Our next lifter from Ukraine, Dmitry Wowchuk. He's coming for 300 kilos.
Dmitry Wowchuk of the Ukraine, 300 kilos even, and we'll move into the 120 plus.
This will move him at least temporarily into 4th place after the squats.
Looking to move up a notch in the rankings. And 15 kilos towards his total.
And referees say, good play!
White
New
lights.
personal best for Dmitry. Our next lifter, Caleb Pennington. Bar is loaded for Caleb, 302.5
Moving to the 120s, and Caleb Pennington of the U.S. has 302.5 kilos loaded for his 3rd and final, 666 pounds.
Settle. Good feet. And settle. Tight back. Give me that gap. Speed.
Judging by that
pleased.
laugh, I would say he's very happy with that.
Yeah, well, he's not disappointed, that's for sure.
Our next lifter, Denis Korechka from Czech Republic.
Moving to the 120 pluses in the juniors, and Denis Korechka of Czechia, also taking
Bar is
302.5
loaded for
kilos.
Denis. This will be a new personal record for him.
Looks like he may not be coming out. It's considered good manners, particularly if there's a small flight or an equipped lifting. If you're not going to take an attempt, is to put the weight on the bar and let the 1 minute clock time down. So that gives everybody else an extra minute to stay on schedule.
Gives me a good time to get a shout out to our sponsors, Alico, who has supplied all of these weights you see on the platform, as well as all the weights in the warm-up room. They're the best in the business, as well as SBD, who has sponsored several of these athletes and some of the nations as a whole. They got the best kits in the business. I don't know if you've ever tried one of the belts, Rory. I tell you what, add it on to my deadlifts and squats, that's for sure.
I just got an SBD belt actually, so yeah, feels like a good upgrade.
Enjoy, my friend. And 317.5 being loaded for Justin Furman of South Africa. We're in the 120s junior lifters.
Bar is loaded for Furman.
700 pounds.
317.5 kilos.
Definitely on the limit for him. 3 white lights. And that was a big ask as he gets assistance from the spotters.
Our next lifter, Dominic Platkonis from Slovakia. He will try a new personal best. Bar is loaded, 332
Dominic
and a half
Plaskonis of Slovakia, 332.5 kilos for his third and final squat. We are going to stay in the 120 juniors.
He knew as soon as he got down there it wasn't coming back up again.
And that's what you want to do. If it's off, wave it off. Don't make any rash decisions to try to fight through something if you're not in a good position to do so. There's a lot of lifting left to go. We got the bench, we got the deadlift. And Vasily, sorry, go ahead, Ray.
The injury risk and the sort of spillover fatigue to the deadlifts, it's not worth trying to fight it back again.
Yeah, even if you avoid injury, there is that spillover fatigue. You're 100% right. And Vasily of Kazakhstan has 337.5 loaded and waiting as we're at 45 seconds. No sign of Vasily just yet. Like a true showman, he has us waiting for him. Now there's showmanship, but we're at 30 seconds, and he still has to get under that bar, unrack it. It's a third attempt. You don't want to be too rushed.
Gets the squat command with just 7 seconds on the clock.
Squats it up. 2 to 1 is good. Yeah, when you unrack it with 7 seconds left, you better hope you don't get a re-rack command to fix something. There's no room for error, but he gets the lift. And 355 loaded for Sharma Gaurav of India. Currently in the gold medal position.
So based on prognosis, this will give him an 810 kilogram total. So that's including this squat, but also the bench press that he's put as his opener and the deadlift that he's put as his opener. Which puts him just a little bit behind the Ukrainian lifter who's at 845, but that also does include the Ukrainian's 15 kilogram jump that he hasn't achieved yet. So if he gets this, it actually puts him very close to second place on prognosis. It'll set him up well for the rest of the day.
And with the big boys and the big weights, one missed lift by a fellow competitor and a lot of things shake up. You just want to stay as close as you can. And speaking of, did he just pick up another 10 kilos? Yes, he did.
3 wide. Dmitro Holiday from Ukraine, 360 kilos, loaded on the bar.
360 kilos for Dmitry Holinai of Ukraine. This will move him from silver to gold in the squat event. But as he said, also pick up another 15 kilos towards his total. And there's 3 individuals rather close, all vying for a spot on the podium. Who gets gold, who gets silver, who gets bronze. Moved quickly. See if the judges caught that depth. They like it.
3 wide. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move.
Yeah, slow-mo replay confirms that depth was good.
Luke Mellon from United States, preparing for 370 kilos.
And we move back to the 120 plus juniors as Luke Mellon of US has 370 kilos loaded for his third and final attempt. He has the bronze medal in squats. This won't change that, but it will grab him some kilos towards his total. And it's good.
For the lose. Ladies and gentlemen, our next lifter, Zen McCollum from United States, 30.
Now Zen McCollum of the US, loading 385. He missed this on his second due to depth. If he hits this, he starts recovering some ground he gave up to Bowring and Team Great Britain. He has an honest shot at the 120 plus world title. This will help. Was it good enough? It is. And the battle is back on. USA and Great Britain, ever so close.
So with this, Ray will be on a 960 kilogram total prognosis, but without it, he'll only be on 950, just 2.5 kilograms ahead of Zen.
Very important lift for Ray Bowring and Team Great Britain. 425 kilos for his third and final squat attempt.
Come on, everybody. Come on. 425 kilos.
It was strong. Looked like he was searching for depth. Did he hit it? He did. 2-1.
Referees say he hit it. That's great.
You sound skeptical.
Thank you for everybody. We will move on to
This is the side that gave him a red. You know what? That was borderline, and this is the side that gave him a red. So maybe on the other side, it looked even better. 2-1. And by the way, the jury did not want to overturn. So there you have it. Chandler Loescher of U.S. in the 120 sub-junior taking the gold. Dmitry Ivanchenko in the 120 plus sub-junior taking the gold. And Mitrov Holanai of Ukraine in the 120 juniors taking the gold. And in the 120 plus juniors, Ray Bowring of Great Britain taking the gold. We have some battles, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. In 20 minutes, we will return. Welcome back to the IPF World Championships live in Istanbul, Turkey. I'm Ryan Six-Pack Lapidat, and today I got Rory Lynch in the commentary booth with me. And Rory, we are back with the Sub-Junior Junior 120 and 120 plus for the bench press event. Here is a look at the subtotals. And the subtotals can be slightly deceiving because once the deadlifts start, we always see some shakeups. I know you've done handling at the world level, and you've spoken at length previously about how this is when the game starts with the national teams. This is when you start doing, you had those decoy openers previously. You could change your opening deadlifts. You got the last final deadlift can be changed twice as well. And now you're jockeying around for position.
With Dmitry Ivashenko, followed by Justin.
Oh, sorry, we're in the bench press. I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? And Dmitry Ivanchenko of Kazakhstan. 100 kilos even. This is the 120 plus sub-juniors.
Bar is loaded for Dmitry Ivashenko from Kazakhstan.
And Dmitry opting to come out without a bench shirt. Not entirely odd, especially in the sub-juniors. If you're not used to a shirt, it can be a pretty steep learning curve. But makes relatively easy work of 100 kilo. And sometimes you come out raw for the first, and then you throw the shirt on afterwards for the second and third. Justin Furman of South Africa, 145 kilos. We're in the 120 juniors. We'll be bouncing around between the juniors, sub-juniors, 120 and 120 plus, all in the same flight.
And the referee say goodly.
3 whites is on the board.
Our next lifter, Seramet Can from Turkey, 147.
Bench can be such a volatile event. In the morning session, we've seen several lifters bombing out, several lifters facing bombing out and getting the last attempt in. Especially when you throw on a bench shirt. Seramet of Turkey in the 120 plus sub-juniors. Sorry, in the just juniors, not sub-juniors. Opening with 147.5. Again, gentlemen opting not to use a bench shirt. And I don't suspect Team Turkey will be putting a bench shirt on that gentleman.
Our next lifter, Julius Richwalski from Poland.
Julius Richwalski of Poland, opening with 155 kilos. We're in the 120 juniors.
Loaded on the bar.
So what we see with equipped bench press is often there's a very narrow niche between being able to touch with a weight and then being able to lock it out. So a lot of these gentlemen might struggle or have to really fight to get the bar down to their chest. But if they went any lighter, they wouldn't be able to touch. And if they went much heavier, they may not be able to reliably lock it out.
A dicey proposition. Ooh.
Just a little wiggle there on the left side.
Yeah.
And
No lift.
2-1.
So on the bench press, the red card underneath the red light indicates that he may not have touched his chest,
From India.
and the blue indicates a double movement, or which I think is probably that dip that we saw on the left-hand side there.
Bar is loaded for Gurav.
Shamagurav of India, 185 kilos for his opener. We're staying in the 120 juniors. Having a hard time getting that touch, isn't he, Rory?
Really struggling to get it down.
Wow, that is a long time for it to send. His head has come off
That was
the
a
bench.
big fight, yeah.
Unfortunately, it might be for nothing because his head came off the bench. Yeah, look at this is you know, he is a podium favorite, and on his opener he struggled mightily to get that touch.
And he would have expended a lot of energy doing that as well. So although he can come back and take another shot, or maybe put on a few more kilos and get it down a little more easily, he would have worn himself out a lot doing so.
Be interesting to see what Team India decides if they think more weight will help the touch. And 190 loaded for Caleb Pennington of US, staying in the 120 juniors. Uh-oh, beat the press command and having some issues in the bench press event, just like this morning's session.
Next lifter, Dmytro Wowchuk from Ukraine, 190 kilos, followed by Dominic Plastones. Bar is loaded for Dmytro.
Dmytro Wowchuk of Ukraine, 190 on the bar, and it's the 120 plus juniors. Nice press off the chest.
And referee say, good, 3-1. Our next lifter is from Slovakia. Bar is loaded for Dominic
Dominic
Plakonis, 200
Plakonis
kilos.
of Slovakia, 200 kilos even. We're back in the junior 120s, where we've had 4 lifters up in only 1 pass. Can Dominic get on the board with 200 kilos? The bench press has really thinned the field. It did this morning. Let's see if it'll happen again in the afternoon session. Should be back with the green. Judges agree.
Nice comfortable touch there.
Our
Controlled
next lifter
descent.
is Dmytro Holiday from
And
Ukraine,
then off the chest.
205
Nice
kilos.
trajectory up and over at the same time, not straight up, not cutting it too soon.
Bar is loaded for Dmytro Holiday.
Dmytro Holinai of Ukraine, 205. We're staying in the 120 juniors. And if should he hit this, the 120 juniors will then be at 50-50 with success and failure rates on their openers. The drama started early in the bench press event. What do you think, Rory?
That was very fast. I'd say
Good
that's
play.
here we go. 3 white lights.
Our next lifter is from United States. Luke Mellon.
Up and over, beautiful bar path. And getting that bar path right is ever more important when you have a bench shirt on. Luke Mellon of USA,
Bar
back
is
in the
loaded for
120 plus
210
juniors,
kilos.
will attempt 210 kilos.
Luke Mellon.
Luke building the suspense.
Being a stitch tardy with this, you don't look at with the amount of failures we've already had. You don't want to have to rush. He looks a little bit befuddled as he hits the platform. Perhaps they were not anticipating they were next. Less than 10 seconds.
Cut this close.
Move fast.
And that is why when you're picking your opening weight, you choose a weight you can hit regardless if you have very little time to set up. And we're doing it the old-fashioned way.
Okay, so that was a good lift. I was stressed listening to that clock countdown.
I've been here many times in the booth. I've seen it all now. You should have seen the morning session, Rory. It was a wild one, and 215 is loaded for Vasily of Kazakhstan back in the 120 juniors. Got a little pause, so I'll take this opportunity to give a shout out to our sponsors, Alico, whom's equipment you see on display on the platform right now. Same equipment in the warm-up room. The best in the business, as well as SPD, sponsoring several of the athletes at these world championships, as well as national teams. And not sure if you heard, Rory, but SPD's got kind of a big event coming up in 2023 called Sheffield.
I have heard of it.
Yeah, I bet you have. So has the entire community. Everybody's excited. Make sure you hop online and stay tuned when the tickets become available and more information starts coming out on how to view it. The best of the best in the world, as well as wild card announcements on who will be invited. And it appears as though we're going to do a little bit of cleaning on that bench before Vasily comes out to attempt his 215 opener. Hopefully this allows the Team Kazakhstan to get Vasily even more ready, because we've had a 50% failure rate in the 120 juniors, and we'd like to improve that percentage, wouldn't we, Rory?
I'd really like to see everyone get a bench on the board. It's not a good day when people go home without attempts, and missing your opener is a good way to put yourself under a lot of pressure, stress out your coach, stress out everyone who's supporting you, maybe here or maybe at home.
Yeah, look, if anxiety levels are already high because it's a world championship, there's nothing like missing your opener. And if it's a misgroove with a bench shirt, missing an opener can be quite rattling when that bar goes flying towards your head. You gotta go back to the warm-up room, regroup, and come back out hitting the exact same weight that just narrowly missed you. And it looks like we're gonna get a full cleaning for Vasily. He's really getting the royal treatment, isn't he, Rory?
Do you think these guys would come to my gym and clean down all of our equipment barefoot?
Will they come to my hotel room and put a little cleaning in there? I'll tell you what. this the final session of the equipped, but make sure you come back tomorrow as well when the classic division begins with the 43 and 47 kilo women's sub-junior and junior lifters. And of course, we'll run it right through day after day until we get to the 120 and 120 pluses. All of the world's best juniors will be on display. And here he is.
It looked like he did something just a little bit funny as it came towards his chest, like it came down towards his chest, and then he moved it laterally, trying to get a touch.
Let's take a look at his feet. Was an issue if they slip. Nope. No slipping.
So we are 3 for 7 on the junior 120s.
It makes things more interesting. Sub-junior 120s, Chandler Loescher, 232.5 for the American.
Set it up, Brian.
Let's go, Chad! Come on, Big Chad! Watch your feet.
Looks like his belt is unlatched.
Hopefully that's not an issue. Yeah, it is. Good eyes, Rory. Oh, no. Look, and sometimes the belt being latched keeps the shirt in place where you want it. I mean, look at we saw this earlier today. Bench is such a volatile lift regardless. It's the only lift of the three with 3 commands in it. You know, the bar path is not straight up, straight down like a squat and deadlift, so the trajectory is an issue. Add in a bench shirt and you have all types of more volatility. And we go into the 120 plus juniors, or Ray Bowring of Great Britain will attempt 245 kilos.
Bowring currently the favorite to win the 120 kilo plus juniors, but there isn't a lot in it. Just 12.5 kilos separating him from McCullum from USA on prognosis, and particularly when it comes to something like equipped bench press, that is not very much.
Steady to the chest. Ooh, a little bit of issues locking up, but he's done it. I didn't see any down up myself. Judges agree, good enough, 2-1, and look at that, looked a lot harder than you would think an opener would look. I'm not sure how much more he wants to add on his second and third, unless this is a misgroove and he comes out and the second looks like a second wood. But that looks more of a third attempt than an opener would, didn't it? Dennis Kureka of Czechia.
So particularly with equipped bench press, there's a lot of small modifications you can make that get you more or less assistance out of the shirt. So it's possible that he had his shirt in the sort of less helpful position so that he could get the touch, and it did make it a little bit harder. So it's possible that he's going to pull the chest plate down a little bit, maybe rotate the sleeves out a little bit, and come back and really nail his second.
265.
Looks good. And good play. 3 whites.
3 whites, and he's on the board.
Our next lifter.
Look, if the 120 juniors have been struggling, the 120 pluses have been consistent with these openers. And overall gold medal favorite, one of them, along with Bowring, Zen McCullum of US, opening with 272.5, 601 pounds for his opener.
Come on, Zay. Come on, big guys. Take your feet. Watch your feet.
Let's.
Let's go.
Back. Goes. Throw it. Hold.
Just that little wriggle before the chest, and then not quite locking it out.
Yeah, look at. I hope I didn't jinx this young man. I just said all the 120 pluses did not miss, and he just missed. But this is.
Second attempt.
It's hard to call because he could come back and hit this. Ray can miss his next, and they're still neck and neck. Very tight races all round, and such massive shakeups are occurring during this session.
152.5 kilos.
You really got to take this first round with a grain of salt as we look at the benches that have already occurred, and 152.5 loaded for Justin Furman from South Africa. We're in the 120 juniors.
Really good patience from him as it came towards his chest. Like, he kept that same line, kept it nice and consistent. He didn't rush to try and get the touch faster. That was a really good, technically well executed bench press.
If he can keep that consistency for his third, we might see a 3 for 3 in the bench event. Moving into the 120 pluses. Ken Sermet of Turkey, 152.5.
Goodly. Our next lifter is from Poland, Julius Richwalski. Bar is loaded for Julius, 155
Julius
kilos.
Richwalski of Poland missed 155 in his opener, retaking that weight now, 120 junior. Oh, looks like he's done it.
Goodly.
And he's on the board.
The next lifter, Dmitry Ivashenko from Kazakhstan, 160 kilos.
Moving to the 120 plus sub-juniors, Dmitry Ivanchenko of Kazakhstan, 160 kilos.
Dmitry, our youngest lifter today, at 16.
16 years old at the IPF World Championships.
Now, Dmitry did hit his opener completely raw, but it looks like he's put a bench shirt on for this attempt.
And I think that's a good move. Get your young lifter on the board, especially if you don't have years in that shirt. Wow. In and out of the shirt, Dmitry getting on the board.
Still no wrist wraps, though.
Wait for the third attempt, my
Our
friend.
next lifter is from India, Sharma Gaurav, 185 kilos.
Sharma Gura
Bar is
of
loaded
India,
for Gaurav.
retaking 185 kilo. We're going to move to the 120 juniors.
like the last attempt, really fighting to find that touch point.
He's got it. Can he get it up? I think he might have done it. Wow. That was a little nerve-wracking.
Good play.
You're right. Finding that touch point was very difficult. And once he got it and got that up command,
From United
I think we
States,
all waited with bated
Pennington,
breath to see if he could press it out, and he did.
190 kilos. Caleb Pennington, 190 kilos.
Caleb Pennington of the U.S., 190 kilos. We're going to stay in the 120 juniors.
He wants this time, 190 kilos.
And makes easy work of 190 kilos.
3 wides.
A bit of proper adjustment, and he's on the board. Kind of a funny bar path.
Yeah, a lot of lateral movement right off his chest.
Right.
Ready.
Dmitry Bobchuk of Ukraine, 200 kilos for his second attempt. We're in the 120 plus juniors. And Gurav of India opting not to come out for a third. Perhaps, I mean, that was a long descent twice in a row, and he could save a little bit of energy. Uh-oh, wrist wrap came undone on his right side. Hopefully that doesn't throw him off. Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to pass.
Sorry, Noli. Next one, Dominic Plakonis from Slovakia, 205 kilos. Bar is loaded for Dominic.
205 kilos loaded for Dominic Plaskonis of Slovakia. And we're in the 120 juniors. Taking a 5 kilo jump, still 25 kilo below his personal best, but different hitting a personal best at the World Championships as we've seen.
As Matt Gary would say, you can hit a personal best any day of the year. There's only one day that you can win a world championship.
This is true. Or compete in one anyways.
Good play.
5 more kilos towards his total.
Dmitry Holiday from Ukraine, 215 kilos. Bar is loaded.
Dmitry Holinai of Ukraine, 215 kilos for his second attempt. 10 kilo jump from his opener.
This will put him ahead of Chushubina on prognosis.
And Shushabina yet to register a bench as well, just to increase the drama. These gentlemen are neck and neck, but there's a side story to it, isn't there?
Good play.
3 whites.
3 whites. The next lifter, Vasily Sherbina. Bar is loaded for Vasily.
And Vasily, 215, needs to get onto the board. Then he can start covering ground, regain himself. He's an overall gold medal favorite if he can get a bench in.
Oh no. It doesn't look like he's hurt.
No, but he's definitely rattled and frustrated, going 0 for 2 in his first 2
United
attempts.
States, 270.
As the kids would say, this is getting quite spicy.
Chandler
It is.
from United States.
One of the favorites overall is right close to being eliminated.
Bar is loaded for Luke.
And Luke Mellon, 217.5. We're in the 120 plus juniors.
Come on, easy way. Let's go, super speed.
And referees say, good.
3 whites and it's good.
And now we have Chandler Mosher from United States, 232.5 kilos. He missed his first. He needs to get this one right. This is his personal best.
Chandler Loescher of Team USA. We're in the
Bar is
120
loaded for
sub-juniors.
Chandler.
Missed 232.5 on his opener.
Come on, everybody. This is his personal best.
Retaking it for a second.
Loescher is lifting unopposed, but he does still need to register a total today. Much better than his first attempt.
Yup. I think he's turned it around. Look at, he's lifting unopposed, but he's facing adversity and being tested. It's still a great experience for him.
Bar is loaded for Ray Bowring from Great
Ray
Britain,
Bowring.
255 kilos.
Great Britain back in the 120 pluses, juniors, and 255 for his second attempt. Hit 245. Ray has an opportunity to get a little ground covered over Zen, who struggled to get a bench in yet, and has to retake his opener. Looks like he's done it. 3 whites.
Very good. That was work, though. I don't know how much more he's going to have there.
You know what? The first one looked like work as well, I believe, and I said that, and then he came out, added 10 more kilo. I guess we'll see.
Be a new personal best for him. He missed his first. Now he wants to get this one.
Zen McCullum,
Bar is loaded
representing
for
the
Ray
U.S.,
Bowring. Everybody
missed 272.5 on his opener. If he hits this, he's right back to being a threat with Ray Bowring for the world title. Misses, and he's really got his back to the wall. Uh-oh. Oh, wow. Oh,
I don't think he quite got that locked out.
no, not before the, it was down up before the rack command. It was getting the touch point seemed low, and his butt was rising. It was a little, I don't know if it came off the bench, but there was,
275 kilos.
yes, I don't know if his butt's off the bench off this view, but it was definitely unstable. And then not quite getting the elbows
New
locked
personal
there.
best for him. Bar is loaded, 275 kilos.
Denis Koreka of Czechia. 275 kilos. Staying in the 120 pluses juniors.
He's going up. He locked in, and referees say.
Three white lights and it's good.
3 whites. Congratulations on your personal best. Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the third attempt. Justin Furman from Republic of South Africa, coming up for 155 kilo, 2.5 kilo jump from his
A
second.
look at the bench standings after 2 rounds. In one of our medal favorites, still has not got a bench up there. Zen McCullum of USA has one more shot at 272.5. If he gets it, he's right back in the mix. If he doesn't, the rankings really shake up. As well as in the 120 juniors
155 kilo.
from Kazakhstan, Shishrbina missing 215 twice in a row, facing the same situation, and if he hits it, right back in the mix for a potential gold medal overall. If he misses, the rankings get shaken up. It's high drama in this last round of benching for the 120, 120 plus, sub-junior and junior men's. Up next, Justin Furman of South Africa, 155 kilos, and we're in the 120 junior class. Furman jumping from 145 to 152.5 and opting just for a small 2.5 kilo jump and possibly going 3 for 3 in the bench event. Furman timing out there, and Rory, you had mentioned this previously, but instead of Xing out, and I think Furman timed out, or did he not?
Yes, he did
Okay.
time out.
So instead of Xing out, you time out to give your competitors that extra minute of respite.
157.5.
A little bit of rest is much appreciated, and we're going to move to the 120 plus juniors, where Can Saramet of Turkey, the host nation, will attempt 157.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from his second.
And good play. 3 whites. Our next lifter.
3 whites and it's good.
From Poland. He wants to make a new personal best for himself. 160 kilos. Bar is loaded for juniors.
160 kilos for Julius. Rich Walski of Poland in the 120 juniors.
And good play. Our next lifter, Dmitry Vashako from Kazakhstan.
And it's a good
180
lift.
kilos.
Control down to the chest.
Yeah, huge PR for himself.
Good press, straight to lockout.
His personal best is 150.
Dmitry
Now
Ivanchenko
he's attempting 180
in the
kilos.
120 plus sub
Bar
juniors.
is loaded for Dmitry.
180 kilos even for his third and final. Uh-oh, hit the upright. I don't think it assisted him any, but that's unable to lock it out.
And roll it. And the next lifter,
Caleb Pennington, back in the 120 juniors, will attempt 200 kilos. Missed 190, came out, hit it on his second. Moving up 10 kilo for his third and final bench.
Caleb currently with the bronze medal in bench press.
And the lift is good. Moving now to the 120 plus juniors, where Dmytro Vovchuk of the Ukraine will also attempt 200 kilos. He'd missed this on his second. Retaking it on his third. He's hit this before. Can he hit it today? Just a brief pause in the action. There we go. I believe he got the bar is loaded command.
From Ukraine, he's coming up for 200 kilos. This is his personal best. He missed the second. Come on, everybody. Big hands to him. 200 kilos. Moved up fast, and referees say, good play.
Blue light lights.
Our next lifter, Vasily Charspina. He misses attempts now.
Vasily
Bar is ready for
Shishrbina of Kazakhstan. 215 once again for the third time and final time. If he hits it, he's right back into the mix. Misses, and he can move forward in the deadlifts, but will no longer be able to register a total, no longer be able to contribute team points to Team Kazakhstan, and no longer will he be in the running to be the 120 kilo junior world champion. And that looked pretty good. Wow.
With that, he goes back into podium contention.
Podium contention and possibly overall champion. He's definitely in the hunt. Just 10 kilo away on projected. That's if Holinai from Ukraine hits his third. If Holonai misses, they're even closer.
And with that attempt, that actually gives him, at least temporarily, the gold in bench press, tying Holonai, but at a lighter body weight.
Plaskonis of Slovakia, 215.
And referees say, good day, 3-1.
White lights.
Our next lifter from Ukraine, Dmytro Holonai. Bar is loaded for Dmytro. This will be a new personal best for him.
Dmytro, 222.5 for his third and final bench. Looking to keep some ground and maintain his projected #1 and move from bronze to gold in the bench. Can he lock that right arm out? Nope.
But not this time. Our next lifter, Luke Mellon from United States. He wants to make a new personal best for himself. 222.5 kilos, ready for Luke Mellon.
Luke Mellon now of US 222.5. We're in the 120 plus juniors. Luke already has the bronze and bench. Looking at 5 more kilos towards his total. Telling the spotters to take it, and they do, just unable to lock that out.
Our next lifter, Champion Losher from the United States. He wants to make a new personal best, 247.5 kilos. Followed by Ray Boring from Great Britain.
And Chandler Loescher of US 120 sub junior. Coming out to 247.5 kilos. Representing Team USA. Misses opener, came back, hit it on his second.
Very good attempt.
Excellent pressing. 3 white lights, and he gets revved up again.
New personal best for Chandler. Next lifter, Boring Ray. Great Britain. 262.5 kilos. Bar is loaded for
Moving
Ray
back to the
Boring.
120 plus juniors, where Great Britain's own Ray Boring, 262.5, loaded for his third and final. He would like to close the door on the discussion who's going to be the next 120 plus junior world champion. This will definitely help that cause, adding 7.5 kilo towards his total.
This will bring him to a 687.5 kilogram subtotal, 100 kilograms ahead of Mellon, the American lifter, with Zen McCullum still to lift.
Referees say, good play, 3 white lights,
Three whites.
and new personal best for Ray
And Ray
Mellon.
increasing his lead over his peers.
Ladies and gentlemen, this time, Zen McCullum missed his first 2 attempts.
Now, Zen McCullum from Team USA missed 272.5 twice. Coming out one more time to it.
Come on, everybody, he missed this one. Everybody, big hands to him.
Oh! I think he might have done it.
And now, referees say,
Zen McCullum is back. Wow.
Does not get much closer than that.
My friend, don't tell me powerlifting's boring.
My heart rate right now.
Yeah, that is a big press. Just over 600 pounds by that young man.
is loaded.
And Denis
Korečka from
Korečka
Czech
of
Republic
Czechia coming out to 285.
in this session. 285 kilos. He broke his own personal record, and now he wants to move the record higher.
Last bench of this session.
Going up, going up.
A little too much today.
Okay. No limit. Thank you, everybody, for your support. We will move on to the deadlift 1 minute from now.
And there was a look at the bench where Chandler Loescher in the 120 sub juniors takes gold. Dmitry Ivanchenko of Kazakhstan in the 120 plus sub juniors takes gold. Vasily from Kazakhstan in the 120 juniors representing Kazakhstan takes gold. And in the 120 plus juniors, Denis Korečka of Czechia takes the gold medal. Don't go anywhere. We will be back in 20 minutes with the dramatic conclusion in the deadlifts for the 120, 120 plus sub-junior, junior lifters. And welcome back to the IPF World Championships here live in Istanbul, Turkey. I am Ryan Six-Pack Lapidat, and I'm accompanied in the booth by Rory Lynch. And Rory, it is the junior and sub-junior 120 and 120 pluses. Taking a look at the subtotals as they rest right now. Had some dicey moments in there. In the 120 pluses, Ray Bullring getting his lifts, building his total, where Zen McCollum from the U.S. struggled to get a bench, and it looked as though Bullring might be cruising to the 120 plus world title. Then Zen getting that bench with his last attempt, enters back into the conversation, and when you look at the projected, he has an opportunity to possibly start covering some ground yet to be decided in the 120s. The podium has not been decided yet. Once the weights hit the ground, that is when the strategizing truly begins.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And on that note, Dmitry Ivanchenko of Kazakhstan will open us up with 155 kilos in the 120 plus sub-juniors.
155 kilos.
Three whites and it's good.
Good way. Next one, Caleb Pennington from United States, 205 kilos.
Caleb Pennington of the U.S. opening with 205 kilos in the 120 juniors.
So with this, Pennington will be on a 707.5 kilogram total, just ahead of Richowalski from Poland at 700.
Good way.
2-1, it's good.
Next lifter, Dmitry Wowchuk from Ukraine.
Moving back to the 120 pluses in the junior division, Dmitry Wowchuk of Ukraine, 205 for his opening pull.
Good way.
That looked like a very comfortable opener.
Next lifter is from Turkey, John Karamet, 230 kilos.
Into the 120 plus juniors, Ken Saramet of Turkey opening with 230. I see Cenk Kokak, former junior world champion himself, handling a legend in Turkish powerlifting
Goodly.
and a
Next
giant
lifter,
man.
Luke Mellon from United States, 245
Smooth
kilos.
opener there.
Bar is
Staying in the
loaded for
120
Luke.
plus juniors, and Luke Mellon of US, 245 for his opener.
This will bring Mellon up to an 832.5 kilogram total, which on prognosis will put him fourth, just 10 kilos behind the lifter from Czechia, Korechka.
And a little bit of a stumble at the lockout there. Let's take a look at the replay. Fast off the ground.
Chandler
Just
Walker
literally at the
from
lockout
United
started
States.
coming out of his hands. He looked at his hand there. Hopefully there's no tears.
Bar is loaded to 100.
Chandler Mosher of US, 120 sub-junior, opening with 247.5.
Goodly. Next lifter, Dominic Blacko Blaskonis from Slovakia, 250 kilos, loaded on the bar.
Dominik Blaskonis of Slovakia, 250 kilo opener. We're back in the 120 juniors. Blaskonis on the board with 3 white lights.
Our next lifter from Republic of South Africa, Justin Furman.
South
Bar
Africa's
is
Justin
loaded for
Furman in the 120 juniors, opening with 260 kilos. Pretty smooth lift there, Rory.
Very fast deadlift.
Good lift. Next lifter, Julius Richwald from Poland, 265 kilo, his personal best on his opener.
Staying in the 120 juniors, and Julius Richwalski of Poland opening with 265 kilos.
This will bring him up to a 700 kilo total, just behind Pennington from the United States.
700 even it is.
Lift is good.
3 whites and it's good.
Next lifter, Korechka from Czech Republic. Bar is loaded for Dennis.
Representing Czechia, Denis Korechka, 267.5 kilos. We're in the 120 plus juniors.
Korechka not wearing a deadlift suit.
Yeah, interesting. I think he actually squatted without a squat suit as well.
Yeah, that's right. I think he wore wraps, but just a singlet.
That's right.
270 kilos. Bar is loaded.
Sharma Gurav of India, 270 kilos for his opening pull.
Referee say good
Lift is good.
3 whites. Next lifter, Ben McCollum, United States, 280 kilos. Loaded on the bar.
Zen
for
McCollum of US, 280 kilo opener. And once these gentlemen hit their opening pulls, now their total is solidified and they can start taking more dicey jumps.
Big chest.
And that was smooth and easy. Whoa.
Oh no.
And just as I say that, and look at, he's able to walk around with the weight in hand. It wasn't the weight, just happened to have lost his balance. Unfortunately, now Team USA has to make that decision. Do they retake the same weight, which obviously sets them back in trying to hunt down Ray Bowring? And he can literally walk around with the weight in hand. They chose the proper weight, just a small execution error. And he set back a little. We're back to the 120 juniors, where Dmytro Polanyi from Ukraine, 285 kilos.
I don't want to speak too soon and jinx it, but Polanyi is first on prognosis at the moment. But Chishubina from Kazakhstan only just behind.
Hulanai is on the board.
3 wides. Our next lifter, Vasily Sherbina from Kazakhstan.
That wasn't an easy deadlift, was it?
Not for an opener.
Loaded on the bar.
Yeah, there's a little bobble at the top as the weight threatened to go up down. It didn't, but it came close. And Shishabina opening up with 300 kilos even, will end up just 7.5 kilo behind. Let's see how his opener moves. Well, knees lock early, and now the conversation starts to shift again, doesn't it, Rory?
All in.
He's got 2 more attempts to come back and lock that in.
Ray Boring from Great Britain. In his
Ray Bowring of Great Britain, back in the 120 pluses. 307.5.
he will
Let's
attempt
pay attention to how he moves this.
7.5 kilos.
He's in the projected 995 should he hit this. We're going to be over 1,000 kilos, more than likely.
Bar is loaded
If he
for
gets this, he
Boring
all but secures
from Great Britain.
the championship.
Wow. A lot more in the tank, too.
3 wides, good lift.
With these big deadlifters, it's really hard to tell what their top end looks like. You know, he could have another 30 kilos on that.
Yep. And to your point,
Moving to the second
15 may
attempt.
slow him down considerably. It is very difficult. And Dmitry Ivanchenko from Kazakhstan in the 120 plus sub juniors will be pulling 175 kilo for a second. There's a look how
Coming up
the
from
running order
175 kilos.
appears after one round of pulls. Still 2 more to go. Expect movement in the rankings.
Good lift, 2 to 1.
Yeah, so I think that referee may have said that his knees were not locked there. Sorry, he dragged it up his thighs.
But to the point of the knees, when you lean back like that, it does threaten to unlock them, and he's getting dangerously close. Caleb Pennington with 217.5 back to the 120 juniors.
Good lift, all right. Next lifter from Ukraine, Dmitry Volchak, 230 kilos. Followed by Luke Mellon from United States. Bar is loaded for
Dmitro Vovchuk of Ukraine,
This will be a personal record.
230 kilos for his second attempt. We're back in the 120 plus juniors.
Looking
3 whites, and it's good.
next lifter, Luke Mellon, 245 kilos.
Sits back with it.
The bar is loaded.
Nice, smooth, easy attempt. And back to the 120 plus juniors, where Luke Mellon of USA will attempt 245 for the second time. Luke hits this, and he's in
Moved up fast.
third place position overall.
And referees say, good play.
Makes easy work of it.
Next one from Turkey, John Sederman. Bar is loaded for 245 kilos.
And Ken Siramet of Turkey, 245 kilos, while we stay in the 120 plus juniors. Oh, a little bit of a struggle at lockout.
Good lift, 2-1.
2 white lights. He locks it in.
Our next lifter, Chandler Locher, 265 kilos, followed by Julius from Holland.
Back to the 120 sub-juniors, where Chandler Locher of Team USA will attempt 265 kilos.
Tight back.
Come on, big chest.
Yo, squeeze more, chest down.
And referee say, good play.
3 whites and it's good.
All wide. Next lifter, Julius Richwalski from Poland. Bar is loaded with 272.5 kilos.
Back to the 120 juniors, and Julius Richpolski of Poland will attempt 272.5 kilos for his second pull of the day.
Referee say, good play. 3 whites. Next lifter, Denis Korečka from Czech Republic, 275 kilos, followed by Dominik from Slovakia. The bar is loaded for Denis.
Back to the 120 plus juniors, where Denis Korečka of Czechia will attempt 275 kilos. Denis in a battle for the bronze with Luke Mellon of USA.
Moved up fast, and referees. All white, good lift. Next one is from Slovakia, Dominik Drakonis, 280 kilos.
Back to the 120 juniors, where Dominik Plakonis of Slovakia will attempt 280 kilos.
A whopping 30 kilogram jump that'll move him from a 782.5 to an 812 total, moving him at least temporarily into second place overall.
Let's see how 30 kilos slows him down. Still a relatively tidy lift, one more round to go. But you could see how certain lifters make different jumps, so the prognosis might be a stitch deceiving when it's based off the opening pole. And Justin Furman of South Africa, who remaining in the 120s, will attempt 280 himself.
This won't change his position, but it will add another 20 kilograms to his total should he get this, moving him to a 750 kilogram total.
Bar is loaded for Furman.
Come legs, come on. Forward. Come guys, big chest. Sit down, come on. Drop, wait.
And referees say, good play.
3 white lights and it's good.
I think he's 7 for 7 so far. The only lift he missed being the bench that he timed out and didn't attempt.
Sam McCollum, United States,
Back in the 120 plus juniors, where Zen McCollum will retake 280 kilos. No stumbling this time.
Good play. All right. The next one is Sharma Gurau from India.
As if to say, sorry folks, I don't know what happened the first time around.
That's the coach killer, missing an attempt and then coming back and making it look easy next time.
Yeah. And Sharma Gurav of India with a 290 kilo second attempt in the 120 juniors.
Good play.
3 whites and it's good. And Sharma
Next one,
trying to establish himself on the podium.
295 kilos.
Whatever happens to Shershabina is really going to impact that. But first, Dmitro Holanai of Ukraine, 295 kilos for a second pull. Pacing for the gold overall and possibly the gold in deadlifts. Still one more round to go though. He gets it. It was consistently moving, but it did move slow, didn't it, Rory?
There's no points for speed in powerlifting. It didn't go down. He didn't drag it up his thighs. That was a solid attempt. I'd say he probably has even a little bit more in the tank there.
What would you put him at? 300 kilo even, or would you dare to go more?
I'd probably put him at a 300 even, especially because he has such a lead at the moment. He doesn't really need to risk it.
Right. Vasily, speaking of 300, has 300 loaded. Here's a second attempt at it. Same thing happened. Knees locked early, and now you're starting to wonder, is one of the heavy podium favorites about to possibly bomb out?
It certainly looks that way.
30 kilos.
Not a lot of encouragement can be had from his second attempt, but we have seen miracles where lifters come back and hit something that looked like they weren't going to get. Moving back to the 120 pluses, Great Britain's Ray Bowring will attempt 330 kilos, and he's really starting to pull ahead from the rest of the pack here.
425. Bench press 262.5. And now bar is loaded for 330 kilos.
Oh my gosh, there is a lot more pulling power there too.
The freestyle. Good play.
What did I say? 30 kilos more.
Now we're moving to the third attempt. First one is Dmitry Ivashenko from Kazakhstan.
And the second attempts are done. Now we enter the third and final pulls of the day.
By Caleb Pennington and Dmitry Volchak.
A quick reminder, teams are allowed to change the weight they have twice. So you'll see Holanai, from the Ukraine in the 120 juniors with a placeholder weight of 505. Don't expect him to come out for that. That is a placeholder and it will change. Ivanchenko from the 120 plus sub-juniors representing Kazakhstan with 190 kilos. Might be a little bit of support from the legs, a little down up possibly.
Freestyle, Knowledge, Goodman. Next one, Caleb Pennington.
Nevertheless,
200 and
finishes the day with a wealth of experience. $227.5 loaded for Caleb Pennington of the U.S. We're back in the 120 juniors.
Bar is loaded for Caleb.
This will move Caleb to a 730 kilogram total, which won't advance his placing. But it might help him secure it.
Good play.
Nice pull.
Next lifter, Dimitro Walcha. From Ukraine, 240 kilos. Loaded and locked on the bar.
Moving to the 120 pluses, where Dmytro Vovchuk of Ukraine will attempt 240 kilos.
Dimitro Walcha from Ukraine.
So his deadlift PB before today was 215 kilograms. So he is blowing that out of the water.
Good play. Next lifter, John Seremet from Turkey. He's coming up for 255 kilos.
$120 plus junior Can Seremet of Turkey, lifting 255 kilos for his third and final attempt. Having a bit of trouble locking that out. Not sure that's going to pass.
Referee say no way. 2-1.
So that's one not locked out from the left-hand side and one supporting on the thighs from the right-hand side.
And if I'm honest, I can see both those infractions.
270
Yeah,
kilos.
yeah. Likewise.
Back to the 120 sub-juniors, and Chandler Loescher of USA will attempt 270 kilos for his final pull of the day.
So lifting unopposed, but he does secure 12 team points for the sub-junior team for the United States for this as well.
Back tight. Get your butt low.
And the referee say good play.
And the lift is good.
Good play.
Luke Mellon of the US in the 120 plus juniors will attempt
Luke Miller,
270 kilo.
70 kilos.
This will move him in the total from fourth to a bronze medal position with 3 lifters left to go.
So this will put him at 857.5 kilos. In order to take it back, Koreka, the lifter from Czechia, will need to increase his third deadlift from the 280 that he has at the moment to 282.5.
Will he force Koreka's hand?
Come on.
Not today.
Not today.
And Chandler Loescher's final pull has been overturned.
Next to the US Wolf, Poland, He's coming up to lift 208 kilos. And ladies and gentlemen, by the jury decision, Chandler Lusher's lift overruled. By the jury decision. Thank you. Next one,
Julius Richwalski of Poland, coming out to 280 kilo in the 120 junior class. This will move him in the deadlift standings from 5th to 3rd, with 5 more athletes yet to pull.
Not today. Next lifter from Czech Republic, Denis Korečka, 280 kilos, followed by Justin Furman from South Africa.
And Czechia's Denis
Bar is
Korečka
loaded for Denis.
will be pulling 280 kilos for his 3rd and final pull. This will bring him from a bronze medal position in the deadlifts to a silver, should he get it, with 2 lifters in his class yet to pull.
Referees say good lift.
3 white lights, it's a good lift.
Next one is Justin Furman from South Africa. He will attempt 287.5 kilos. He broke his own record, and now he wants to set a new standard for himself.
Justin Furman of South Africa with 287.5 kilos being loaded. We are in the 120 kilo junior class.
The bar is loaded for Furman. Come on, everybody. This will be a new personal best for him.
Just keep winning. Get it off the floor and pull. Drop! Drop!
Oh, wow.
And referees say, good lift.
He has the deadlift bronze as it stands now. 4 more lifters to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, next lifter was Vasily Cherbina from Kazakhstan. He will attempt 300.
Once again, 300 kilos being loaded for Vasily Sherbina of Kazakhstan. It's an all or nothing. If he hits this, he's got the silver medal. He's in place to be silver medal overall. And in the deadlifts, moves to the gold medal position. If he misses, he's eliminated. It will not register a total.
We've got an attempt change.
We have an attempt change. Next one is Sharma Gurau from India, 295 kilos.
Sharma has now called for 295 to be loaded. They got it in before Sherbina got the bar was loaded. This is 295 loaded right now, so this will give him overall a silver and a possible deadlift gold. Currently in the silver medal for deadlifts.
Referees say
Wow.
2-1.
So with that, Plaskonis will now have to increase what he's submitted for his 3rd deadlift in order to move from bronze into silver.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have another attempt change.
Another attempt change. On cue.
Dimitro Holoney
And Dimitro Holoney put in 297.5. lowering it, and he could take the deadlift gold. He's already got the gold overall and not risking that. But would like to collect all the gold today.
Bar is loaded for Dimitri, 297.5. If he gets this, he will get a gold in the deadlift. Almost there. And referee
Nods his head to a job well done. And as it stands now, not only is he the 120 Junior World Champion, but also has the deadlift gold medal in hand with 2 lifters yet to go. Vasily Shishibina up next with 300 kilos for his 3rd attempt at this weight. If he hits it, in the overall, he quickly jumps into the silver medal position and takes the gold medal. If he misses, he will not be able to register a total. Oh my gosh, what an ending to this session. Oh wow. Do you believe in miracles, ladies and gentlemen? What a startling turn of events. Pulls himself back onto the platform into silver medal position.
Currently with the gold for deadlifts as well.
And currently with the gold for deadlifts, one more puller left to come out.
Loaded on the bar. Dominic wants this to get silver in the deadlift.
Oh, wow.
He
I
hasn't submitted the change that
I thought Dominic would have been pulling for the gold in deadlifts, but
so this will give him, if he gets it, the silver in deadlifts, but not move him into 3rd overall.
he had nothing to lose by upping it. Nope. Proves to be a moot point anyways.
Rolling. Next one. Zen McCollum from United States. 312.
And we're going to move back to the 120 pluses, Rory, where Zen McCollum of the U.S. will attempt 312.5 kilos. He is currently in the silver medal position overall, and that will not change. But he has an opportunity to swap his bronze medal in deadlift for a silver.
Bar is loaded for Zen. 312 and a half.
Real tight. Move and speed.
Moving up.
A little too much.
Not today. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more lift. Ray Boring from Great Britain.
One more lift to go, Rory. 355 kilo for Great Britain's Ray Bowring in the 120 plus juniors. He is your 120 plus junior world champion, gold medalist in the deadlifts, and looking to up his total by 25 kilo.
And now he is coming up to lift 355. Ray Boring from Great Britain. If he gets this, his total will be over 1,000. Going up, almost there.
The knees shake, but he locks it out. Oh. Look like possibly shoulders. What do you think?
Yeah, I think particularly his overhand shoulder. I don't know if that was quite back. That's his left-hand shoulder.
In just a minute. Thank you.
Very close, but does not change that he's the world champion. Looking at the totals here, well, we're going to switch to the deadlifts. Chandler Loescher from the 120s taking the gold. Dmitry Ivanchenko from Kazakhstan taking the gold in the 120 plus sub-juniors. On to the juniors now. In the 120s, Vasily Shishibina of Kazakhstan taking the gold. And in the 120 plus juniors, Ray Boring taking the gold medal. Looking at the totals, Chandler Loescher taking the gold in sub-juniors. Ivanchenko of Kazakhstan in the 120 plus sub-juniors taking the gold. In the 120 juniors, Dmitry Holinai of Ukraine taking the gold. Vasily Chershibina of Kazakhstan taking the silver. And Sharma Gurav of India taking the bronze. In the 120 plus juniors, Ray Boring of Great Britain securing the gold. Zen McCollum of U.S. taking the silver. And Denis Korechka of Czechia taking the bronze. Do not go anywhere. We have the medal ceremony coming up, and make sure you tune in tomorrow where we will have the beginning of the Classic World Championships. From Ryan Six-Pack Lapidat and Rory Lynch, see you soon.
we have Jim Bell from United States Virgin Islands and Robert Keller from United States to give the medals to the athletes competing. Kilos of juniors. In the squat, we have Chandler Losher as the first. He is the first in the bench and the deadlifts. And in total, everybody please stand up for the national anthem of the United States. Thank you for everybody. Sub-juniors plus 120 kilo weight class. Dmitry Ivanchenko from Kazakhstan won the squat, bench, deadlift, and the total. Everybody please stand up for the national anthem of Kazakhstan. Thank you. And now we're in the juniors, 120 kilo weight class. In the squat, third place is for Vasily Cherbina from Kazakhstan. Sharma Gurau from India for silver. And Dmytro Holoney from Ukraine is gold medalist. Thank you. In the bench press, third place is Dmytro Holiday from Ukraine. Dominik Plekonis from Slovakia. And Vasily Charbina from Kazakhstan. Thank you. In the deadlifts, third place, Sharma Gaurav from India. Second place, Dmytro Holiday from Ukraine. And first place, Vasily Charbina from Kazakhstan. Thank you very much. And now in total, 120 kilo juniors. Bronze medal is Sharma Gaurav from India. For the silver, Vasily Sherbina from Kazakhstan. And Dmytro Holiday from Ukraine is the gold medalist. Everybody please stand up for the national anthem of Ukraine. Thank you. Thank you. And now, juniors, 120 plus kilo weight class in the squat, third place, Luke Mellon from United States. Second place, Zen McCollum from United States. And first place, Ray Boring from Great Britain. Thank you. In the bench press, third place, Ray Boring from Great Britain. The second place, Zen McCollum from United States. And the first place, Denis Kureshka from Czech Republic. Thank you. And now in the deadlifts, third place, Zen McCollum from United States. Second place, Denis Kureshka from Czech Republic. In first place, Ray Boring from Great Britain. Thank you. And now we're moving to the totals. In total, bronze medal is Denis Kureshka from Czech Republic. Silver medal, Zen McCollum from United States. And the champion gold medalist is Ray Boring from Great Britain. Now everybody please stand up for the national anthem of Great Britain. Thank you to everybody supporting us today. A round of applause for all the athletes competing today.